So people are getting their accounts blocked, deleted, restricted. And I don't want that happening. Now, I am I'm a rule follower. So if I am told that I can or can't do a certain something on a platform, I'm not going to do it. Now, there are a number of things and ways of how you can get your LinkedIn account blocked, but I wanted to go over three in particular that every single person on this platform, whether you're using the free version or paid version of LinkedIn, has to be aware of. Now, I myself have gotten my in the very early days of me using LinkedIn, I had my account restricted many times, and I had to fail forward. Um, I then started doing a ton of research on things that you can and can't do on the platform, and now I seek to advise, consult, and recommend what others shouldn't do so it doesn't happen to them. Don't make the mistakes that I did. Now, some of these things I did not make the mistake of. I would say one of the three, I made the mistake. Two of the three, I did not, because once this one thing happened, I then started digging deeper. I looked into the LinkedIn user agreement. And then obviously I saw, okay, there's a number of things that I shouldn't do on this platform. So I am going to follow the rules. Now, before we jump in, as I mentioned before, one of the best ways of finding out what you actually need help with on LinkedIn is taking a 10,000-foot view of all the components. And sometimes people don't know what they have to do. So I did create a free LinkedIn scorecard assessment. It takes about 2 minutes to complete. And all you have to do, if you're watching on social media, all you have to do is type the word scorecard in the comments, and I will send you the link to take this 2-minute assessment. So it goes over all the core components of LinkedIn, what you are highly skilled in or what you may need help with. At the end, it's going to spit out a report, and it's going to basically give you your score, and it's going to tell you, okay, here are the things that you should probably work on and focus on in regards to optimizing all of your efforts on LinkedIn. If you're listening on the podcast, all you have to do is go to the description and click the link where it says download or take the free LinkedIn scorecard assessment here. All right. Now, I could do probably an hour training on all the different ways of how you can get restricted on LinkedIn, but I'm going to go over the three easiest ways to avoid getting your LinkedIn account restricted. And the first thing that you can do to avoid getting your LinkedIn account blocked is making sure that you don't use automated software that messages and connects for you. Now, if you're watching or listening this, and if you've ever been in the situation where you've received connection requests, which seems like they have specific connection notes attached to them. And I want to show you an example or describe an example to you. And I can tell you right away, I can tell you without a doubt when something is automated or not. So again, if you're have spent any time on LinkedIn, any time whatsoever, if you've ever seen a connection request come through, and within that connection request, you end up seeing something that looks like this. So I got a connection request. Scott, I, along with 3 other baby boomers, have launched the site www.babyboomer.org. It's designed to become the focal point for news and information on and for boomers. Your podcast addresses issues boomers need to know, and we need to add you to our site. Let me know if you have an interest. Again, I don't know how my podcast has to deal with boomers, but just to show you a couple more, if I go through this, hi, Scott. Do you wish your marketing skills were as good as your technical skills? I wish my technical skills as good as my marketing skills. Connect? No clue what that means. Hi, Scott. I came across your profile and was impressed with your background. I'm with Acadium, where we offer affordable remote marketing assistance through interns. Let's connect and see how we can work together. I don't know why. And I don't even know who this is. Hi, Scott. I saw your friends with Mads, who was my management coach for a while, and just wanted to connect with others who valued leading teams. Thanks in advance for the connect. I don't even know who Mads is. And I get these, and I'm sure a lot of you get these consistently, right? Hi, Scott. FlipTech is licensing conversational podcast audio in English with $50,000 available for 1,000 hours, 2 speakers, separate channels, WAV files. Your content could help ethically train AI future innovations, limited spots. Are you in? Let's connect to discuss details. Again, these are people that are using automated aspects of LinkedIn. And just to kind of show you just really quickly, there are things that you cannot do. And this is the LinkedIn user agreement. These are the do's and do nots, right? So you cannot develop, support, or use software, devices, scripts, robots, or any means of processes such as crawlers, browser plugins, and add-ons and any technology to scrape or copy services, including profiles and other data from services, right? So the other thing that this does say is you cannot use bots or other unauthorized automated methods to access the services, add or download context, send or redirect messages, create comment on, like, share, or reshare a post, or otherwise drive inauthentic engagement. It says it right there, clear as day. So if you're wanting to, if you're really wanting to make sure that you're doing this the right way, don't use automated software that messages and connects for you. If you've ever connected with someone that doesn't have a note attached and immediately accepting that connection, you get a message that pops right up that's an 18 paragraph long drunkalog verbal vomit message trying to sell and pitch you. They're using automated software. If LinkedIn finds out, they delete your account. They don't even restrict you. They just delete you. So that's the first thing. Second thing is make sure that you don't send out more than 100 connection requests per week. This is where I got in trouble. I didn't know this, and I was sending more. And I was sending connections one day, and I guess I eclipsed 100, and they said, you're restricted. You're going to have to wait till next week to send more. And I'm like, huh. Then I started doing some research. And what I found with that research is that there is a connection limit. And I did talk about this before. There is a connection limit. And you can see right here, it clear as day. Clear as day. It says right there, how many LinkedIn connections can you send per week, or invites can you send? You can send 20 to 25 requests daily and around 100 weekly. If your unanswered invitations, which is a whole separate issue, exceed 700, LinkedIn may require you to cancel some. So 100 is your limit. Now, are you able to send more? Yes. It doesn't turn off, meaning you can connect all day, all night, way over 100, but you run the risk of LinkedIn picking up on that and obviously triggering that restriction. Now, just to let you know, if you're a first-time offender, meaning you go over 100 the first time, you get a 24-hour restriction from sending connections. If you do it a second time, 7-day restriction. A third time, 30-day restriction. You do it a fourth and final time, lifetime restriction of ever being able to send connection requests ever again. So I just want you guys to be aware. Don't get restricted. Don't get blocked. Stick to the 100 connection requests per week. It could be 20 a day, 5 days a week, 14 to 18, whatever it is that you want to do. Just do not go over 100. So that's the one that I got in trouble for back in the day. The third one, which I haven't, Do not scrape the contact info of your connections and add them to your listserv or CRM. How many of you have ever connected with someone on LinkedIn and all of a sudden you start getting weekly emails from them? Well, how do you think that happens? When you become connected to someone on LinkedIn and they're a first connection, you have access to all their contact info. And you have to have your email listed in your contact information. That's how you actually sign up for LinkedIn. So what a lot of people are doing is some people are doing this manually. They're going in, they're grabbing and copying the email address of that new contact and throwing them in their CRM or their email listserv where they're then getting blasted with emails. Now, the other thing that I can tell you is that goes back to something that I talked about earlier about scraping the services. You can't do that. There are people that are actually they're taking this information and they're using, so going back up to the second do not, right? Support, use software, scripts, robots, or any other means of processes, crawlers, browsers, plugins, add-ons to scrape or copy the services, including profiles and other data from the services. So that's what people are doing. They're actually using certain softwares that are actually going through and copying all of the email addresses from their first connections and importing them into their listserv or CRM. Now, just to let you know, there is something called GDPR regulations. GDPR regulations. Now, for those that don't know what that means, that is the General Data Protection Regulation. It's also a European Union law that protects the privacy of individuals and their personal data. The GDPR establishes rules for how organizations and businesses can process personal information, including lawfulness, fairness, and transparency, purpose limitation, data minimization, accuracy, storage limitations, and so on and so on. Now, if any of you use any sort of CRM or email listserv like Kartra or Kajabi, you have to include these GDPR regulations. So if you are someone listening to this or watching this that is doing this, you are violating GDPR regulations in certain countries, you actually can be sued. I know Canada and I believe the United Kingdom are two countries that if you do violate the GDPR regulation rights within a listserv, CRM, or email listserv, you can get sued by someone that has not appropriately agreed to have you add them to their CRM or listserv. So very simple. If you really want to avoid getting your account blocked on LinkedIn, don't use any automated software that messages and connects for you. Do it yourself. Do not send over 100 connection requests per week. Connect Monday through Friday, 20 per day. And do not scrape the contact information of your connections and add them to your listserv or CRM. Not only can you get your account blocked on LinkedIn, you can get sued. It now becomes a legal issue. And that's a whole other can of worms that you do not want to have to deal with. And finally, just remember, if you're watching on the if you're watching on social, type the word scorecard if you'd like the link to take my free LinkedIn scorecard assessment that will tell you exactly what you need to focus on LinkedIn. If you're listening on the podcast, just go to the description. The link is right there. Click on it. Take the quiz. It takes about 2 minutes. And again, it's definitely going to help you. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode and today's training. Love and gratitude. And I'll talk to you next time.